Good morning and welcome, or maybe welcome back if you followed my earlier PCT hike. So I am at the northern terminus of the Superior Hiking Trail. That's a trail that goes through about 310 miles. It varies depending on which map you look at and who you ask, of northern Minnesota, following approximately the Great Lake, the Lake Superior Great Lake. I'm going to switch here, catch a picture of this bird, probably a hawk, but I don't know. The only eagles I recognize are bald eagles. This is not, I don't know if I can catch it if I zoom in. Anyhow, I'll work on that for a bit. You might see it flashing through the frame here. Anyhow, so the northern terminus of this trail is very close to Canada. There's that bird. Somewhere up that way is Canada. I'm not sure how far up it is. Not very many miles. Looks a lot like northern Minnesota. But being the northern terminus, I'm gonna start this morning with a little bit of breakfast up here. I'm feeding the mosquitoes already today. They're pretty dense in this part of the woods. But I'll have some breakfast, get my energy up, and head south. More to come in a little bit. Glad to see you here today. For my very first backpacking trip, more than 10 years ago, I'd have to think about the dates, maybe as much as 15 years ago, I was going to be prepared, so I bought a head net. I've never worn it. I took it out of the package once, put it on to see what it was like, put it back in its package. It's never been out again, but I've carried it with me on every trip since. Today, I'm going to give it a try. I had a short walk from the trailhead where I got dropped off up here to the terminus, and I did not have it on. I was feeding the mosquitoes like crazy. It's a warmish, low 60s, 62, 64 degrees in the morning here. It rained a lot yesterday, apparently, the locals say. It's quite humid today, and the mosquitoes are out in force. So I have my long sleeves, long pants. I'm comfortable right now. I'll get warm while I'm hiking, but if it keeps the mosquitoes off me, it's worth it. You probably can't see it, but as I'm holding this camera up here looking forward, there's a small cloud of mosquitoes buzzing around it, probably wondering if they dare sit on my hand. Maybe I'll have to cover that up too. Talk to you later. I'll give you a quick look at the early part of this trail. This, to me, being a Minnesotan, looks pretty familiar. Roots everywhere, black dirt in between, lots of rocks. Northern Minnesota has a lot of rocks. Sometimes you're walking on the crust of the earth, it feels like. I'll show you in a little bit. As I was coming up to the terminus from the parking spot where I got dropped off the trailhead, there were several puddles, mud puddles that I had to walk through. That's relatively common for the Superior Hiking Trail in different times of the year. Not so much this time of year, but with an all-day rain yesterday, that's gonna energize all of the puddles, so this will be a wet foot day for me. That'll be, I won't say that's a good experience, but it is an experience I haven't really had in all of the years of short trips, 3-4 days, maybe a week. I have seldom run into rain and mud puddles. So I'm not looking forward to having wet feet, but I will appreciate the knowledge, whatever I learn from it, how to take care of my feet when they're wet. I do have spare socks with me. Well, I'm wearing one pair. I brought one pair, and I have one pair for sleeping. The sleeping pair, oh, just a second, I'm gonna interject here since I'm here. So that's the terminus is at, they call it the 270-degree overlook. The other thing I'll talk about in a little bit more, this part of the Superior Hiking Trail shares with both the Border Trail and the North Country Trail. So busy area up here for hikers, or at least it's actually not busy looking at the trail register. Another hiker that started today, I rode up here on the hiker shuttle with him. He and I are the only two so far today, and the last people to sign the register, last person, was from 2 days ago. So even though this would be, in my opinion, prime hiking season for this trail, just not many people up here. So a lot of solitude if that's something you look for. So I have successfully distracted myself. I forget what I was talking about. I'll review my video a little bit later today and finish that thought so I don't leave you hanging. But I'll show you some mud puddles. I know that was some part of what I was talking about. Oh, I know, socks. Sorry. Train of thought here. So, one pair of worn socks, one pair of spare hiking socks, and one pair of sleep socks that would be, they are also hiking socks. I don't think I'm going to need sleeping socks. The weather is supposed to be pretty moderate, maybe into the low 50s for lows, unless things change. And with my current setup, I probably won't even need socks. So push comes to shove, if having wet feet is problematic, then I'll just reappoint my sleeping socks to be a third pair of hiking socks, so I can let the others dry as much as possible during the day before I have to wear them again. So I'll show you a mud puddle. I'll show you a mud puddle when I get to it. So here's a muddy stretch. There's a few rocks here and there you could try and jump from rock to rock. I guess there's a little bit of a dry spot on the side, but basically my feet are already wet. There's some that are not passable without getting wet, so I'm just following the, I don't know if it's a leave no trace principle, but basically all of the trail organizations tell you to stay on trail, walk straight through the puddle, because if everybody goes around the puddle, then the trail widens and widens and the mud moves with it. So you end up with wet feet anyhow, and the trail becomes more and more of an eyesore on the land. So I chose early on today, just walk right through it. There's a couple significant mushrooms. Looks like somebody had a bite out of them. I don't see anything dead laying around here, so maybe they're okay, but not for me. I love mushrooms, but I don't trust my ability to identify them safely So I will look at mushrooms in the wild. I only eat mushrooms that I bought from the store. So here's something else as I'm getting started here. The Superior Hiking Trail blazes trees, some trees as they go. To me, it seems random which ones they blaze and how many miles you might go before you see another blaze, but that's relatively common on trails in Minnesota. The PCT that I was on earlier this year, more on that later, that trail they don't blaze anything living. They occasionally put in posts or fiberglass floppy things that they'll mark the trail with. But trails around the Midwest that I've been on, it's pretty common for them to just paint a colored stripe on a tree to signify that this is officially the trail. The color of the blaze it varies by trail. The Superior Hiking Trail, their color is that light blue. Lots of water along most of this trail. Way too early to need to refill my water, but beautiful scenery.